Us now is Amin Mohseni. He's an associate professor in the Department of Economics at American University. Thanks so much for joining us, Amin. Now, there are predictions of a global downturn. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon is predicting one in the next 6 to 9 months. But the jobs market right now seems pretty good. When are people going to notice a shift, and how quickly is that likely to come about?
Well, yes, the job market is pretty strong in US specifically. Usually with the higher interest rate, the goal of the Federal Reserve is to reduce aggregate demand and therefore reduce consumption. Therefore, there would be less demand for goods and services produced by the companies, and therefore they would hire less workers or lay off their current workers. So there will be a lag between the Fed's interest rate hikes and this impact on the job market. And this lag currently is a bit longer, given that there was a tightness in the job market to start with. Therefore, we'll see this coming up probably 6 months down the road. People will start feeling this, especially as consumers feel poorer because of the crashes in the stock market. We will see housing market corrections happening in the prices. As consumers and households feel poorer a little, they will rein in their spending, and again, that will transition into transferring into less employment in the labor markets.
Many people have reported significant wage increases this year, but those gains have been eaten up by inflation. Central banks are raising interest rates to combat inflation. That sees ordinary consumers squeezed on two sides. How long is that process likely to play out?
Well, we have to be careful about this because the higher wages is one reason for the inflation now. Out of 5 reasons that we are seeing for current 40-year high inflation rates, one was super easy monetary policy over the past decade, expansionary fiscal policy during the COVID era and pent-up demand, wage inflation in the COVID era. That is one reason the Fed is trying to increase the interest rate to basically cool down the labor market and put a cap on the wage increases moving down the future. So I'm sorry to say this, but these wage increases was one reason for the inflation that we are seeing right now. And again, as you said, that has come back and haunted the workers with higher prices and lower purchasing power.
We've just seen the UK attempt an alternative strategy to jumpstart their economy, and the new government there has been forced into an embarrassing U-turn within weeks. Are there really any other courses open to governments other than raising interest rates and taking money out of the economy?
Unfortunately, with current high inflation rates, 40-year high inflation rates, and that's global, that is the main tool that central bankers have and governments have to control the inflation. Other one that was mentioned by IMF's managing director is the coordinated monetary policy and fiscal policy between world's main economies. For example, G20 economies, and that is not in sight anywhere in the near future. Unfortunately, that leaves the global economy with only one main tool, that is raising interest rates, but also quantitative tightening, as central banks try to reduce their balance sheets and stop buying bonds from the market. That's another path forward, but again, it has the same kind of an impact from different channels.
Now, some analysts say that the conflict in Ukraine is determining how bad the recession could or will be. How would you describe the impact of the conflict in Ukraine on the current situation in the market?
Yes, so out of those 5 reasons that I mentioned 3 of them. The other 2 are supply chain disruptions in COVID era. And the last one definitely is Russia-Ukrainian crisis, which has put upward pressure on energy and food prices. This is going to specifically hurt countries in developing economies that they don't have much fiscal space. Therefore, I would say that a resolution to these crises would help global economies significantly in the near term and also in the medium to long term.